Let's get started. Our friends, I've had this dream for more than a decade now. A dream which I've invited you all to share with me. In 6 months, we begin construction of Delta City, where old Detroit now stands. Old Detroit has a cancer. The cancer is crime, and it must be cut out before we employ the 2 million workers that will breathe life into this city again. In this case, law enforcement have suffered. I think it's time we gave something back.
Yeah, definitely. So the land, Weelaunee Forest, where Cop City is proposed to be built, is surrounded by neighborhoods, the majority of which are working class neighborhoods that are majority occupied by Black residents. Now, most of these neighborhoods are outside of the official city limits of Atlanta, right? They're in unincorporated DeKalb County. They're right next to the city of Atlanta, but they've been intentionally left out of the city of Atlanta through a series of negotiations that incorporated some areas into the city over many decades in the 20th century, but left other areas out of the city of Atlanta, right? And this is important to understand because these neighborhoods being left outside of the city means that the kind of normal so-called democratic practices within the city that would kick in when a proposal like this came up, they didn't kick in for DeKalb County, right? We don't have the same kind of democratic processes. So there was no necessity of any kind of community oversight. And we think this is really intentional. This is why the city of Atlanta and the Atlanta Police Foundation chose this land to build Cop City.
As you know, we've entered into a contract with the city to run local law enforcement. But at Security Concepts, we believe an efficient police force is only part of the solution. No, we need something more.
Atlanta City Council just approved Cop City, the $90 million police militarization facility for police to train in urban warfare. Community members and activists lined up to speak to oppose the building of the facility.
Spending $60 million, 60 million taxpayer dollars on a new police training facility is the most heartbreaking, reckless, and quite frankly, anti-Black thing this city has ever proposed in my lifetime.
Atlanta only has one level 1 trauma hospital in the metro Atlanta area, but you want $60 million to Cop City.
Testimony went well until 3 a.m., with 210 people speaking against the facility and hundreds more outside that were denied entry. The Atlanta City Council ultimately voted to approve tens of millions of dollars to go to the project, despite the intense public outcry and opposition. This vote came on the heels of the recent arrests of the 3 organizers who led the Atlanta Solidarity Fund, which had provided bail money and helped find attorneys for arrested protesters. But the community is not giving up. Organizers filed a petition with the city of Atlanta that starts the process of getting the issue of building Cop City on the November ballot.
Yeah, we're trying to get a people's referendum on the ballot. The Georgia Constitution allows for a ballot initiative. We see that as the next legal mechanism in order to get Cop City built or stop from Cop City from being built. So that is what we're trying to do. There's going to continue to be street protests. There's going to continue to be actions. There's a week of action coming up. But we also want to make sure that we have...
Police are the only first responders that have an image problem. Firefighters, EMTs, nor hero units have an image problem. Firefighters don't respond to fire alarms with flamethrowers and get upset when they're told to use water. There is no war on police. There is no such thing as a blue life. The thin blue line is a tantrum of immature and petulant adult children. If your egos are too fragile to accept the rightful criticism of your tactics, then quit. If you can't do your job without somebody constantly hovering over your shoulder, then say it. We'll hold your timid hands at every step. You've already forfeited any career aspirations you may have had. We live here. Y'all have made it abundantly clear that y'all just work here. If accountability makes you uncomfortable, go somewhere else. Atlanta has no place for you. The police have shown time and time again that the training they've been given isn't interested in de-escalation, conflict resolution, or preservation of life. If I had 57 bullets, I could assassinate every member in this chamber with 3 shots.
The lease between the city and the Atlanta Police Foundation can be broken, and I feel that our elected officials wanted to make it seem like there were no legitimate ways that legislation could stop this project, and that is simply not true. When the vote happened to approve this project in 2021, over 1,000 people showed up to give public comment. 70% opposed the project, but they voted to approve the project anyway. Our elected officials have said over and over again, well, now that we've voted, there's nothing we can do to stop it. In section 4.3, it clearly states that the lease can be broken with or without cause at any time, and there are no penalties to do so.
We need a 24-hour-a-day police officer, a cop who doesn't need to eat or sleep, a cop with superior firepower and the reflexes to use it. Fellow executives, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the future of law enforcement. Ed 209.
You'll have up to 2 minutes.
They paved paradise, put up a city for cops, with a shooting range and a fake bar on a fake block.
Nationwide is ensuring a $90 million police training facility, also known as Cop City. Nationwide has found itself on the wrong side of history. We recognize the millions of dollars in blood money flowing into Nationwide's coffers. Cop City will never be built.
Viva, viva, Tortuguita! Viva, viva, Tortuguita!
Cut the contract! Cut the contract!
You are complicit in Tortuguita's murder. You have blood on your hands unless you take action to stop Cop City now.
It's not far down to paradise.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the
I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. I'm George.
Hello, 911. There's a suspicious-looking man in our neighborhood. He's coming towards my door.
Help me! Help!
Are you white? Yes, and Republican. Don't worry, ma'am. A unit is on its way.
You like what I've done with the place? No woman can speak in my sanctum sanctorium. I conjured it just for you. And of course, men everywhere.